is Saturday, June 14th. It's Military Parade Day. And this is Bruce Leonard Leans Left. While it's still legal. Still legal today. But, keeps yo-yoing back and forth. It's like, is it going to be legal? Is it not? I'm not sure. It is, it is Saturday. And you know what that means sometimes. We're lucky to have our friend, host of the History on Fire podcast and history professor, Mr. Daniele Bolelli is with us today. How are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good. It's good to see you. How you been?
Military parades. I'm trying to see which kind of regimes host military parades on a regular basis.
Only
Let's
the finest.
wait.
Only the
Yeah.
finest regimes hold military parades. Only the most democratic and loving of.
Oh, yeah. Of course. That's how it works.
only regimes that would say we have to cut every single dollar that we can find to keep us from going bankrupt, but somehow they can find this $100 million or whatever it takes to, to have a
Yeah.
parade.
Yeah. It's insanity. It's
It makes a lot of sense, you know. It's like, I can't wrap my head around that.
no. You know what I find weird though? I've had this discussion a few times with people who are not even like, some inbred KKK member from somewhere. They are, fairly nice people, fairly, good, seemingly smart people. And you start talking, and they are like, they are not necessarily hardcore Trump, but they are kind of like, but I like some of it. I think it can go somewhere good. And I'm just like, in what universe? Like, how can we see the universe through such different lenses, It's a little depressing about communication because it really makes you wonder, like, what are we looking at that we can come up with? This is not a minor difference of, you like the color red, I like purple, or whatever the hell. This is pretty, seem to be to me evidence based and factual, and yet somehow it doesn't translate.
Because like I've been saying for a long time, like I said that on the last episode when I was talking, like we're way past like, oh, I disagree with you on tax policies, or
Yeah,
like even to call them conservatives now is not fair to like your grandfather or whatever, like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
traditional
yeah,
conservative who was like, I like small government and lower
yeah,
taxes and or whatever, but we all could agree when something was bad. And
yeah.
now it's like the other people are enemies, and whatever my people do is good, and whatever they do is bad.
Atrocious. Yeah, it's
And
really bad.
like that woman yesterday, like will completely gaslight you, like right in your face.
Yep,
They're
yep, yep.
she was like, "Oh, he rushed the podium. And he didn't identify himself." And there's a video where you can clearly see he did not rush
Yeah,
the podium, and he was screaming, "I'm a U.S. senator." And they
I
just
know.
blatantly lie and like, don't believe your lying eyes. What you see in front of you, like that's not what's happening.
Yeah,
What's happening
yeah,
is what
yeah,
we
yeah.
say is happening. You know, and people just seem to go along with it.
I know. I know.
That's the
Bizarre.
part that I don't understand the most.
Yeah, even like certain things that are not like kind of, maybe they're very factual. So, you have Trump promising he's going to end the Ukraine war in 24 hours. He's going to, Ukraine war is raging as bad as ever. Gaza is raging as bad as ever. Now let's add Israel attacking Iran, and nobody, assuming that he actually is doing what he's saying he's doing, which is supposedly working to prevent wars, clearly it's one of two cases. Either you're lying, or you are and nobody cares for you because you count less than nothing.
Well, he said before Netanyahu struck, he was like, I don't want them to do it. Don't do it. Like nobody's Ukrainians didn't tell him that they were going to
Yeah.
bomb the Russian airfield because they know
Of
he would pick
course.
up the phone and call Vladimir Putin and tell him, "You better
Yeah.
move
Of
them
course.
planes."
Of course.
They're about
Of
to
course.
fucking. They're about to fuck you up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's and again, people don't seem to want to accept the reality of the situation.
Right. Yep. 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 No, it's yeah. We live in strange times. That's for sure. And yeah, good times to throw oneself a military parade for his birthday. Think I'm gonna start doing that too. I'm just going to demand, military parades in my neighborhood
That's right.
in
Go down to
honor
the
of.
local National Guard
Yeah,
office.
why
I
not?
need to borrow the
You know?
unit. It's
Yeah,
like, why? It's my
yeah,
birthday. We're going down
yeah,
Main Street.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's insanity. But here we are.
Yeah, I mean it's happening. I believe it started 6 o'clock, 6:05. So
Oh, really?
it's going on right now. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But there's
And in
millions
the
and
mean,
millions of people out in the street right now.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Um,
No, there's been a lot. There's been
I had to
lots
work
of
today
places.
or
There
else I
have
would
been
not have gone.
demonstrations today.
Yeah, you got some by your house?
Yeah, yeah, right around the corner. I mean, where I live is mellow. It's all quiet and pleasant, and so there was no drama. It was pretty peaceful, mellow demonstration. But of course, it's different when you have ICE or the National Guard or the Marines trying to go after you. That's a bit of a different scenario.
Yeah, right. Well, they just I was just watching TV. They were in LA. They were all just standing in front of them
Yeah,
very
yeah.
peacefully, like in the National Guard people
Well, I
were
mean, because
standing up on
that's
the thing.
that's a smart play. Because the problem is it's a guarantee that if demonstrations are not violent in any way, shape, or form, whoever is in power, in this case Trump, is going to, that's what you do. You plan somebody to start throwing bricks and set something on fire. Because now, if you have a nice false flag, you can justify a crackdown. You can justify taking even more power into your hands. You
Mm-hmm.
can justify an authoritarian twist. So, any kind of violent move, I would say it's either orchestrated by Trump or is done by somebody who's too stupid to realize that they are doing Trump a favor.
Right. Um, well, it's just like a prime example of what we were just talking about just now. Today, that guy uh,
Oh,
killed
yeah.
killed those Congress people in Minnesota, right?
But,
And
yeah.
he's a right wing dude. He had a list of 70 Democrats that he was going to try to take out. And
Yeah.
Elon Musk goes on to Twitter and says the left is violent and blah blah blah.
And did Trump say a single word about that?
He said, "Oh, this is terrible, and this violence will not be tolerated in this country, except for the 1,500 people that I pardoned for committing
Of
violence."
course. Of course. What a freak.
Again,
What?
it's it's
Yeah.
it's it's the gaslight is up to 11, as Spinal Tap would say.
Yeah.
Like
No,
we
that's.
are in a post-truth world where like people
Yeah.
don't care about the truth anymore. Like here's
Yeah.
an example. I got into an argument with this girl, right? Because she posted this TikTok video, right? That said, because Christy Walton invested in these protests today. And you know who Christine Walton is? She's from the Walmart
Oh.
family.
Oh, okay. Cool.
She's one of the principal. She's a Walton.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so she's a generationally wealthy member of the Walmart family, right?
Yeah.
So she invested some money into these protests and put out an ad in the New York Times, and even put her
Hmm.
name at the bottom of the ad.
Yeah.
And so this guy puts a TikTok video, and he's like, "Look, Walmart is sponsoring these protests, blah 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 blah. Walmart this, Walmart that," and I'm like, "That's dishonest.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's not Walmart."
Yeah.
She's a member of the Walton family, which makes her associated with
Yeah.
Walmart. Her money comes from Walmart. But she's allowed to do anything that any other person's allowed to do. And just because she does something doesn't mean that the Walmart Corporation is rubber stamping, whatever she's doing and supporting it or whatever. Like, it has nothing. The two things aren't connected except for the fact that that's where her money comes from. But
Yeah, which is
it's lazy
yeah,
and
yeah,
intellectually
yeah.
dishonest, and that's
Yeah,
how the misinformation machine works, right? I mean,
uh, I'm a little mad. I'm looking for my Walmart check for the protest. Where is it? It's like, well, what the hell? It's like,
exactly. But you get what I'm saying,
am I the only guy who didn't get a check?
right?
What am I missing here? It's like,
Still
what's
waiting for the
happening?
Doge check as well.
Yeah,
It's like-
yeah. I'm waiting for Bill Gates to pay me for COVID or something. I had a COVID vaccine, I'm sure. Where's my Bill Gates money? Where's, yeah.
but you understand what I'm saying is like that's how propaganda works. The misinformation
Oh, yeah, of
works
course.
is
Of course.
they take something
Yeah,
and sure there's a kernel of truth that
sure.
she is connected to the Walmart family,
Yeah.
but to just say Walmart is sponsoring the protest is intellectually dishonest and
Oh,
lazy,
yeah. 100%.
or just completely dishonest on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and this girl would not, she would not accept the explanation that it's
Yeah.
like
Of
it's
course.
like she's not Walmart. She's not speaking for Walmart. It doesn't say Walmart on the bottom of the ad. It says her name.
Yeah.
And like that doesn't make it that Walmart is subsidizing these protests or whatever. It's like she's
Right.
allowed to support whatever she wants. I'm sure the rest of her family doesn't like her.
Yeah. Yeah. Of
You know
course.
what I mean?
Of course.
Like she's probably the black sheep of the Walton family.
Yeah. 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 No, no, I mean, of course. Yeah. It's like, it's classic disinformation. Take something vaguely kind of true, blow it out of proportion, mix it with stuff that makes no sense, and run with it, and then deny any evidence that you're doing anything wrong. Yeah. Wow. I never, I expected, I always said I never had the most optimistic view of where elections were going to go or where the state of politics was going to be. I did not quite expect to be sitting in 2025 with this level of shit.
Well, like I said, I think that the internet itself
Yeah,
and the COVID the pandemic. I don't think you can discount how much
sure.
the pandemic like pushed everyone over the fucking edge. Because like
Yeah,
I said, it confined them into a space
yeah,
where the rabbit holes could suck them in. Like,
sure, 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 sure.
and plus there was so much uncertainty and
Yeah,
fear going
oh, yeah,
around that the propagandists and it was like a fucking gold mine, bro. It's like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like oh they're all
Perfect
in front of their
recipe.
screens and all this fear and uncertainty is about and we can fucking capitalize on it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now they're stripping. I mean, you wouldn't think in a million years, right, that they were stripping. Remember, RFK said in his hearing, like, "I'm not going to go after the vaccines." And then what did he do? He just got rid of all the vaccine people,
Yeah, yeah, of
put in
course.
there a board of quacks,
Yeah,
internet conspiracy hacks.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh man, this is not. And like again, the corporate media machine is they're just like going along with it.
Oh yeah, and that's what I also love when people are like, "Oh, like CNN or NBC or Reuters or The Guardian are somehow wanna be communist or something." It's like, are you kidding me? These are corporations catering to corporate interest who happens to have a more liberal bent on things, but you're still talking about corporate entities catering to. You're not talking about some hard line left wing thing at all. So the way these people are screaming about, oh, those are like they picture like NBC. It's the same way as when people were like, Kamala Harris is basically a communist. And it's just like, what in the actual fuck? You know,
Right.
it's like
So do you even
Kamala
know what a
Harris, like,
communist is? Like,
yeah, it's like
it's
Kamala
like I
Harris
don't
is
know
a
if you.
centrist to center right politician, and it's just ridiculous.
Well, I was talking about that the other day too. It's like if you're just a person who in this country who is like a humanist and is like, oh, I think people
Mhm.
should have health care, and then maybe we should feed those starving people over there. Maybe we should give them medicine so they don't die of some easily curable fucking disease. And maybe we should help people. And then people go, you're a fucking communist.
Yeah. What kind of
It's like, if I
what are you
never
about to
one
put?
time mentioned, that we should take over the fucking the means of production and all the other
No,
things.
yeah, yeah. I mean, what are you talking about? You know, healthcare for all. Next thing you know, you're gonna quote some communist manifesto like the Sermon on the Mount or something. You know, is that's the next step. Is like one of those. Jeez. I mean, yeah, when you think about where Christianity has gone, it's pretty trippy because when you look at like not even what Jesus may have actually been about or anything, just what you have in the New Testament, just actual words in the New Testament, it's pretty clear where he's going with it. The fact that the history of Christianity just decided to go completely the other route and ignore all that. There's actually a skit that I saw, Key and Peele skit that I thought that was hilarious, where it's a 90-second thing that to me explain half of the history of Christianity right there. Is this skit where you see this group of guys who are a prayer group and they are praying and they're like, God, please reveal your will so we can better serve you and do what you want us to do. Help us. And, they're all praying. And all of a sudden, the sky opens, the ceiling opens. There's this light, this embodied voice. And they're all like, yes, yes, God, tell us, what do you want us to do? And the voice is like, sell everything you own and serve the poor. And, suddenly there's a moment of panic. And they're like, I'm sorry, you said everything? And it's like, yes, serve everything, sell everything you own and serve the poor. And you see them, they are starting to sweat. And then one of them screams like, this house is haunted, run away. And they all run away and they're screaming. And I was like, yeah, that's most of Christianity in a nutshell.
Right. It's like or the life of Brian when he drops the shoe.
Yeah,
And then they pick up
basically
the
that's
shoe. He's like, "It's a shoe." It's like, it means that we should, walk. We should all take off one shoe. And then no, it means, and they all start arguing over what it means. It's like,
yeah, yeah, of course.
it's a sign, but what does it mean? It means that we should
Yeah.
gather shoes. Oh, it's like, it's like
No, it's insanity, man. I tell you.
Jesus literally went in and flipped the tables of the of the bankers and the loan people. And
I'm about to travel outside US, and granted, I have citizenship and all of it, but I'm sweating a little bit returning. I'm like, I wonder if immigration is gonna move smoothly or what is it gonna look like, you know?
well,
Because,
they're looking at people's social media and
right,
things.
exactly. So I'm like,
I mean,
it's a little problematic there.
I thought the same thing. It was like, oh, they're looking at people's social media. Like I'm white and born here. I'm as
Yeah,
American as you can get. They'll be like, I don't know about letting this guy back
yeah, yeah.
in.
Well, at least you're born here. That helps. That helps.
Still, I'm like, this guy's a
Yeah.
troublemaker.
No, but man,
I enjoyed
craziness.
it.
Absolute crazy. And today I saw this car driving by this the demonstration, and some Trumpster pulling down the window, going, "Go back to China," and I'm like, how does that make even any sense? It's like because
There's a bunch of
clearly the idea was protesting against Trump means you're a supporter of the Chinese Communist government, and you're like,
no, I said it wasn't Asians that were
no,
out there.
just random, just because of protesting, not even because anybody was actually. I was like, wow,
Go back to
that's
China.
interesting.
It's like I never
Yeah,
been
I
there.
know. fuck are you talking about? You know?
No, but they
No,
don't
in
know
fact,
what they're talking about. That's what
no,
I'm
I mean, by
saying.
this point, because the pretense of actual real discussion is completely gone,
Yeah,
I tend to reply in absolutely nonsensical way. I will just, every time somebody's sending me like all kind of weird Trump propaganda, I'll reply with like any kind of meme or random shit that I never fact check. It's probably made up. It's probably bullshit, but it's like, that's what you're feeding me all day long. So let me tell you something about how Trump is hosting Martians to take over the universe. And, I'll just like, none of this is real anyway, so
right.
might as well have fun.
They're eating the cats and dogs. It's like-
Yeah, exactly. Do you know that Trump eats dogs every single day? It's what he does.
I mean, people are saying.
And actually, what you think
It's
is
like,
Trump, you're wrong. Trump actually was gone long ago, and it's Jeffrey Epstein that put his face on through a special kind of surgery, and he's now the president of the United
right? You
States.
ever see that
So
movie Face
you
Off?
think it's Trump, but it's not. Exactly. I've seen Face Off. I know how
Yeah,
this works.
it's judgeable.
Currently, Jeffrey Epstein, president of the United States.
The funniest thing was Bongino and Cash Patel after
Mhm.
all those years of there's something fishy about this Epstein thing. He didn't kill himself. He was murdered, and it's a deep state, and this and that and the other, blah 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 blah. And now they're in there, and they're like,
Yeah,
uh, yeah, he killed himself.
I know. Or yeah, this is above my pay grade. I'm not gonna. It's like, who the hell is supposed to look into it? It's yeah.
That's what I said. It's like you do realize you're the director, right, of the FBI.
I know.
It kind of is your pay grade to look into things. It's like,
Speaking of which, would you have ever expected in 2012 that Rogan podcast would be hosting the director of the FBI?
no,
Ah, exactly.
no, and even more bizarre that the richest man in the world would be calling the president of the United States a pederast
Yeah,
live on the Rogan podcast.
I
And
know, I know,
Rogan's
I know.
going, what the fuck? Even he's going, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's like, dude, you helped create this reality. What is going on is exactly what you made.
Exactly.
It's like a world of complete bullshit.
Ah, ay,
We're just
ay, ay.
we're just asking the questions. It's like that's my favorite.
Yeah,
We're just asking questions. The- These
I
questions
know.
should be asked. It's like yeah, but every time someone asks you for the answer, you don't have it. It's like,
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I
did
don't
you
know, man.
see the My Pillow guy? He's on
No, I don't.
trial. He's on trial for
Yeah,
defamation of character,
yeah,
and because of the Dominion voting, he
yeah,
he he named the CEO, called him a traitor, treason, said he should be strung up, says he has all the evidence to prove this, that they rigged the election. Right? They get to court. The court asks him, "Do you have evidence that the 2020 election was rigged?" Um, no, sir. I seem to, I seem to have left it
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
in my
I
bag at
mean, it's
home.
craziness. And on that happy note, I'm gonna drive into the fires of it all. I'm gonna drive to downtown LA right now.
Oh yeah, you're
So
going down to the protest?
no, I actually have to go. Not right now. I'm actually gonna go. I have to drop off my daughter at her cousin is graduating college, and so she's gonna go to that thing. So
Oh,
that's
that's
where
cool.
we're going right now. But
You going to the
but
party
yeah,
and drop her off and go down to the action.
yeah, exactly. We'll see.
Catch you
Because what was that line from the Rolling Stones about getting your fair share of abuse?
Yes.
It's
Went down to the demonstration to get
exactly,
my fair
exactly.
share of abuse.
That's the one. Exactly. Cool, my man. I'll head out, but good chatting with you,
Yeah, it's
and
always good to
let's
see you.
chat soon.
Yes, thank you
Good
for
to see
coming by.
you.
Thank you.
Have a great
Daniele
one.
Bolelli, everybody. Yes. Thanks, man. All right. Yes, Ken, I see you. Well, as always, thank Daniele for stopping by. It's always a fun talk. So I don't know if you heard us talking earlier, but yeah, today, two congresspeople were murdered. Now, this is what I want to say about this, because I've been saying this from the very beginning. This is completely on Trump and the environment that he has created with this rhetoric of, half the country are scumbags and communists and these leftists, radical leftists, and that, like Noam the other day in the press conference, that she said, "We're here to liberate the city of Los Angeles from these socialist leaders that are democratically elected, by the way." But man, my point being is they've created this environment where it's us and them, and that we are the enemy. And now people might say that about some of us, but I never was like this until now. Like, they took the gloves off and they are on the offensive now. And they have the power. And they're going to abuse that power to run over you. And so now it becomes, you have to become a little more, hey, these people are the end. Like I said, it's war now. People are dying. This man had a list of 70 people he wanted to kill. Then he only got to two of them. Well, he shot 4 people, but it was the people he was trying to kill and their spouses. And he's still out there. So, but they have the list. So I think so. Hopefully, they'll get to these people and protect them. But he's still out there. They haven't caught him, as far as I know, unless a report that came up. No, they named the suspect. They know who he is, but they haven't found him. And he was dressed up like a police officer and had a cop car. I don't know how you get a cop car. I mean, you can buy those decommissioned cars, but I mean, anyway, yeah, police cruiser. Anyway, this is the environment that they have fostered, and I've said this from the very beginning: is there's only one place that this can go. If this is the path that you choose to take with your rhetoric and how you choose to speak, he was saying those things. He was saying those things. He was saying those things. I don't know why I get kicked off the chat. He was saying these things in the beginning. And it's only gotten worse. And he was saying these things the other day in front of the military. And once you politicize everything, I'm sorry, I'm having technical difficulty. I get kicked out of the chat. When you politicize everything, and you say to people that the only way. All right. So apparently, Facebook has kicked out the chat. So if you're on Facebook, I won't see your comments. So go to YouTube, which you need to do anyway because YouTube pays. I keep saying this over and over. YouTube pays money. So if you want to talk to me while you're watching this show, half of me feels like not even turning back on the Facebook comments because I don't want you to be on Facebook one, I don't want Zuckerberg to make money off of me because he fucked me up. He kneecapped me. It's like, I'm only still there because of you guys. If everyone would follow me over to somewhere else, I'd fucking shut down my Facebook account too. I finally shut down my Twitter account because I couldn't take it anymore. And I couldn't deal with, it's like, you want to have it so you can see what they're saying. You want it, what they're saying is not even worth looking at now. The place is a racist shithole of fucking misinformation and bullshit. And I don't know why legitimate outlets even stay on it. I guess it's because they think it's so big that they have to stay on it, I guess. But if you're a legitimate news organization, why are you? If you're a regular politician, why are you on Twitter? It's a cesspool of Nazi shit. The free speech absolutist people are full of shit. All they want is the ability to spew their bullshit and racism, and not be called out on it because it's a legitimate point of view. And then that's what the real gaslight is now, where they say you have to respect the other people's point of view. Like when McMahon was at the congressional hearings and they asked her, okay, so Harvard should have to hire this Holocaust denier because of what you're saying, and she says, yes, all points of view should be represented. And you're like, really? Even ones that are completely full of shit? It's bullshit is not a point of view. It's bullshit. It's one thing to have an intellectual discussion, an intellectual argument, using the facts of things to and say, I have a different approach than you to it. That's respecting a point of view. But when a person says the Holocaust never happened, right now your point of view is shit. You don't have nothing. You're full of shit, and you're just a racist piece of shit. And I don't have to respect anything you say. It's just like some of my friends. I love my friend. She's a wonderful person, but she's gone down these rabbit holes, and she believes these things that if you show her something, she just accepts that as that's what it is. And if you try to argue with her about it, she will not take like even the most basic facts as to go, oh, maybe I was wrong. She just want to dig in and say she's right. And this is the problem. There is no more discussion. There really is no more compromise. This is the most hilarious thing. Okay, what did everybody say was going to happen when Donald Trump starts deporting all these fucking people, right? The first thing they said was, this is going to hurt the economy. They're going to be, who's going to pick the fruit and who's going to clean the fucking hotel rooms and all these things that immigrants do in this country that nobody wants to talk about, right? Because they're just too busy demonizing immigrants and acting like, oh, they're the trouble. The rubber hits the road, like I said, when bullshit and reality don't mix together. So they started chasing the farm people through the farm fields and arresting all the farm workers and meat packing plants and shit. And all these companies start calling Trump, say, hey man, where are we going to get workers? Because they know Americans going to do these jobs for this money, the money that we're paying. We need the immigrants. And now Trump's like, well, we need to back off and only go after the criminals. Which one tells you that they weren't just going after the criminals like they said they were doing, gang members and shit. No, they were trying to get as many immigrants out of this country as they can. But now, the reality of the situation is kicking in, where they're like, hey, we need these immigrants for the country to work. They don't understand anything at the most base level. Their entire existence is based off of hate, racism, bullshit, propaganda, and internet conspiracy theories. Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, made a video and put it out. It said that political elites, whoever that is, were trying to instigate a nuclear war between us and Russia because they have bunkers that they could survive. I'm not kidding. She put this out. This is 100% Putin-written Kremlin propaganda being released by the White House and the Director of National Intelligence. It's also a bullshit conspiracy, internet conspiracy theory. Who are the political elites? They're in charge. They're the government. Who's more politically elite than that? It doesn't make any sense. It's just like I said the other day when Dan Bongino was like, oh my God, there really is a deep state and now I'm in it. Yes, now you're in it. You are the deep state. The truth is, there is no deep state. It's just a bullshit term that they made up on the right to scare people and to turn you against the government. It's just like woke. What does woke mean even? Woke. Whoa, you're woke. What? Because I believe that people should be treated with fucking dignity? Oh, you're woke. What? Because I acknowledge that this country, was segregated at one time. We had slaves. It's a racist country. Like, oh, you're fucking woke. Oh, you hate yourself because you're white. No, I don't hate myself. I just acknowledge the truth. I didn't have anything to do with it. You know what I am ashamed of? I'm not ashamed of those things that happened. No, not at all. You know what I am ashamed of? My fellow white people that keep holding on to this idea that they're fucking superior to other people somehow and that they're the only ones who should be in charge of anything. Just look at them. Do these people look smart to you? Do you realize that Trump has all these fucking negotiations going on with all these countries, right? And you would think that he'd have a team of fucking people to handle all this stuff, right? But no. He's got one guy, his golfing buddy. Steve Witkoff. He's like, oh, I'm sending Steve Witkoff up. Oh, I'm sending Steve Witkoff. Like, oh, I'm sure that these fucking countries feel the utmost confidence in your golfing buddy to work it all out. I don't even know what he does for a living. I just know Trump knows him from playing golf. And he goes, hey man, why don't you be my chief negotiator? As he's putting, it's like, this is where we're at. And people go, he's the best leader I've ever seen. He hasn't done one fucking thing he said he was going to do. Like he said, oh, I'll get out of the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. It's fucking raging. It's hotter than ever. It's like, man, it's been a long 24 hours. I did the math the other day. It's 3,000 something hours. It's way longer than 24. He said, oh, I'm going to end this war in Gaza. Well, the war in Gaza is not over. As a matter of fact, Israel's fucking started a war with Iran now. After Trump asked him not to do it, he just did it anyway. Because it tells you, our influence has waned. We are no longer the mover and shaker of the world. Matter of fact, the world's kind of tetherless now. There's every country for themselves. And do whatever you want. Because he ain't going to stop you from doing nothing. He's going to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and he ain't going to do shit. All the guy knows how to do is talk. He's supposed to speak tonight after this parade. You think he's going to, for once, talk about how we need to be together, especially because these murders happened today. No. He's going to spew more of his fucking divisive hatred rhetoric and, like I said, further radicalize whoever's watching. Did he kill these people today? No. Is he responsible for killing these people today? Probably. And like I said, his refusal to act like a human being for one fucking minute of the day is... I've been saying this, I said, since 2015. It's like, dude, you can't talk like this and not think that there's not going to be consequences for it. And to gaslight and say none of it is related is the highest order of, I guess, intellectual dishonesty. You know, it's the fact that the man won't take responsibility for anything. He lies like the other day. He lied about this Israel thing. He lied at least 3 times in one day. He was like, "Oh, I don't know nothing about it." In the next interview, he was like, "Oh, I knew about it. I don't think it's a good idea, but I knew about it." Right. Then the third interview, he was like, "Oh yeah, I knew about it because I know everything. And it's a good thing, and Iran should better do," you know. And you're like, dude, this guy doesn't have a position about anything. His position is the last person he talked to. He's done it in Russia, Ukraine too. He's like, "Oh, with Ukraine for a minute." Then he's like, "Oh no, with Russia." She talks to Putin, and then he talks to Zelensky. "Well, we had a good meeting, and now I'm with Ukraine." And then Putin called. "Oh, Putin called, and I agree with him." You're like, dude, this guy. He's not an intellectual. He doesn't have positions. There isn't like policy papers. That's why he fucking has the Project 2025 guys. Those are the, if you want to call them intellectuals. But they're the policy wonks. They're the ones that have the policies. He is an idiot. Pretty much. All right, I see now. Somehow Facebook kicked me off the chat while I was in the middle of the screen. Yeah, Ken says he might call the murders leftist bullshit. Yes, exactly. Even though the guy like has a list of Democrats that he wants to kill. It's like not a single Republican on that list. And he wants to kill abortion providers, which says pretty much that he's, you know, a radical Christian. And like what Daniele said for Christianity is off the chain. Like, it's just like conservatism itself. Like they've totally shat on all of their own values. Like, remember, conservatives used to be the states' rights people. States' rights, everything. And a lot of his policies are like that. We need to cut rid of the federal government, send everything back to the states, right? Except there was a protest in the state. Well, get in the National Guard and the Marines. What about states' rights? Oh, well. They're a walking contradiction. Because they don't have any values, like I said, other than power. They just want to force their will onto you, no matter what. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about your rights. They don't care about any of that kind of shit. It's all about, like I said, fluffing the dear leader and letting him do whatever he wants. I didn't see Pam Bondi out there today like she was when the Teslas were on fire. She was like, "We're going to break these Tesla people. We're going to prosecute them to the highest extent of the law." And then 2 congressmen are shot. She didn't do nothing. She tweeted happy birthday to Donald Trump and said, "Thank you, Mr. President. We are all safer because of you." And it's like, yeah, well, them Congress people weren't, were they? Are we safer? It looks like World War III is brewing up. You look safe? You feel safe? I don't know. I mean, communist crazy, but I think maybe we were better off with the corpse in charge. He didn't get in the way too much. He's too busy sleeping or whatever. And then it always comes back around to that too. You know, it's like, oh, you're a Democrat? No. And I got a lot of problems with them too. But they're not this. You know, they have their own problems, but their problems aren't this. You know, the world, they held the world together, didn't they? Like 6 months of this, and the world is, like I said, it's unraveling like a, like that sweater in the Weezer song. It's like, and he just fucking, it's a reality TV show. That's all it is. Every day they're like, what kind of optics can we get today to make us look good? You know, it's like they don't have any long-term plans for the future, except to get themselves a big giant tax cut and to cut as much shit away from you as possible. That seems to be their only plan. And to get rid of all the immigrants. Wait, not all of them. We need the we need Luella, the house cleaner. You know, we need Juan picking them fruits. You know, because I said, ain't no American gonna pick fucking strawberries in 110-degree heat. It's not gonna happen for minimum wage. You know, it's not gonna happen. Because again, nobody wants to admit this, but it's the truth, right? The American economy ran on slavery from its inception until the Civil War, right? Which means a lot of it depended upon free labor. That's why the South was freaking out. Hey man, this is our whole way of life. That's what I always said. Our heritage, our way of life. Yeah, their way of life was living off the backs of other people. And pretending like that they were the rich elites, because they were the rich elites. They were way richer because they didn't have to pay their fucking labor. So the Civil War happened, right? And they got rid of slavery, right? Then what happened? They started using immigrants. That's why no one ever did anything about illegal immigration for all these years. They say, oh, this is a problem. It's a huge, big problem. We got to take care of this somehow. And it didn't. You know why? Because they need those people. And if they gave them a path to citizenship and they became American citizens, hey, all of a sudden, you can't pay them subpar wages now, can you? They're American citizens now. You got to pay them fucking like an American. So they keep them illegal so they can keep them in the shadows and pay them fucking. They've replaced slavery with cheap immigrant labor. Nobody wants to fucking admit that, but that's the truth. And it's the reason why neither party did anything about it. Because the rich industrialists and the rich agriculturalists and all the people that need the immigrant labor, the meat packers, the fucking farmers, the fruit packing plants and shit, etc., they need that labor. But see, they never really did right it. That's why wages haven't gone up in this country either. Because we have not addressed the real issues in this country, which is that the system is not, instead of changing the entire system, right, after the Civil War, where you're like, hey, we can't have free labor. We have a real system where, you know, these businesses pay people living wages and blah, blah, blah. Instead of doing that, They just replaced slavery with illegal labor. Of course, you can always get somebody to come up here from Mexico and work for $5 or $10 an hour, when in Mexico they're working for 50 cents an hour. Of course, they're going to come here. They can make 50 times the money that they make working in Mexico. That's why I told you, they come up here, they live 10 in an apartment, they keep enough money to eat and drink their Coronas or whatever they want, and they send the rest of their money back to their fucking families. That's the majority of immigrants in this country. They're not fucking gang members or criminals or murderers. I mean, now, again, do people commit crimes? Yes. But it's not like, oh, they all came up, like he says, oh, they all came from jails and mental institutions and prisons, and then it's like, where are these people? Just seems to me, and I said, you say, oh, the immigrants just come here to freeload. It's like, oh, but he's down there at Home Depot looking for a job. It's like, well, that's not really freeloading, is it? He's looking for a job. It's like he's trying to work. See, I don't have a problem having a discussion with people if they want to talk about things in a realistic fashion. What's happened is, I said, the misinformation bubbles in the internet and all this shit has created these arguments aren't arguments. They're fallacies. Laura Ingraham, just last night, was on Fox News spewing that fucking replacement theory bullshit, which is white supremacy shit. They said, oh, the Democrats were bringing all these immigrants in here so they can vote Democratic. First of all, immigrants don't vote. This is a fallacy they've been running for years and years and years now, decades now. I mean, oh, the Democrats only win elections because these illegal immigrants vote. And there's been many studies, many investigations. They've never found a bunch of illegal immigrants voting. Because they don't vote. They can't vote. They're not registered to vote. I don't know if you've ever voted. You got to show your ID, you fucking sign the papers. You know, it's like only citizens can vote. It's a fallacy. That's why Dinesh D'Souza tried to have that movie, and then the movie got the company that put it out had to disavow the fucking movie, and they had to pay millions of dollars because it's a bullshit movie. It's not real. And he's still like, oh, they're censoring me. Cancel culture. It's like, no. How come every time you guys have to prove your assertions in courts, you can't do it? Because it ain't real. It's bullshit, and people need to call it out. And again, the media, the corporate media, is not helping us at all. Because all they do is bring a guy like Scott Jennings on TV and go, well, we need to have the other point of view. And what is he going to do? He's going to spew a bunch of lies. And they don't say anything because they're like, well, that's the right point of view. He represents the right. No. He represents bullshit. You know who Scott Jennings was? Special assistant to President George W. Bush. Remember George W. Bush? Remember how they lied about the weapons of mass destruction to get us into the war in Iraq? Yes, exactly. They're liars. So why would his point of view mean a goddamn thing? It's just like the fucking, I can't remember this guy's name, Kavanaugh, I think, Jim Kavanaugh. You know who Jim Kavanaugh is? He's MSNBC law enforcement expert that they bring on sometimes to talk about, things. He's former special head agent at the ATF. Yeah, you know what he did? He set Waco on fire. killed 80, I don't know how many, the total number. But he killed those people in Waco. And now he's a fucking specialist on TV? The analyst? Are you kidding me? This is what's wrong with this country. You're like, why do I give a fuck what this guy says? He fucking burned down Waco. Oh, people seem to forget that. Well, I don't forget it. You know, and I don't give two fucks what he says about anything. Everyone's a partisan hack. And now, this show is called Bruce Leonard Leans Left. And it's not called Bruce Leonard is a hardcore leftist, because I'm not really a hardcore leftist. I lean to the left. But, I'm not a partisan hack. If you show me something that's real and true, I'll admit, hey, that's real and true, and hey, maybe I agree. I mean, there aren't all 100% of things like I do agree. Criminal immigrants should be deported. If you're a member of Trinidad and Nicaragua or MS-13 or any of these gangs that they talk about, you should be sent. You want to get sent to the CCOT prison? I don't give a shit. I wouldn't protest it or argue against it. Now, do I agree with it? Probably not. I mean, sending people to a black hole prison in a third world country is questionable, I think. But if they are what they say they are, then go ahead. I don't care. And I would not fight it or protest. But that's not what they're doing. What they're doing is labeling everybody this thing that they are or aren't, and using that as an excuse to grab them up and send them these places. Without due process or any kind of fucking, hearings or trials or any kind of evidentiary discovery to, hey, the government has to prove their claims against you. That's the essence of the justice system, of that you're innocent till proven guilty or whatever, So, if you can go into a place, if the guy's an illegal alien, okay, he's an illegal alien. Detain him. You want to deport him? That's fine. Send him back to his country. Or whatever. But just to grab him up and send him down to some black hole prison, what the fuck, dude? He came here to pick strawberries. And now Trump is like, hey, we need to stop doing this. Well, what about the people he already did it to? Where's their redress? Where's a Jorge somewhere, who was picking strawberries one day and he gets snatched up and sent down to CCOT prison. Now he's down there with the shaved head. He's in there with a bunch of murderers, And where's his redress? The court said that they had to have a habeas hearing for all these people down there, but they haven't done it yet. And nobody on the news is talking about it. Because he keeps flooding the zone with so much bullshit all the time that they just move from one thing to another and things get forgotten. Now, there's investigative journalists who are writing stories about this stuff, but they don't get the press that you get on TV. Even these, like, I watch MSNBC, but a lot of it is it's just a bunch of people like, we don't like Trump and everything that happens. They're like this and that and the other, and most of it, I won't lie that I agree with a lot of what they're saying, but you have to be honest that they're partisan. There is no more non-partisan. That's the thing. Everything is partisan now in this country. Everything. Even church. This is the problem. I don't believe a society can exist like this, really, because if one half of the society thinks that the other half are the enemy, there's only one place that the society is going, where one half tries to kill the other half, or lock them down, and submit them so that they're no longer a threat. When they stopped having like the civil things they used to do, like they used to have the annual Republicans versus Democrats softball game, or whatever. You don't have that anymore. They don't even talk to each other. They used to be friends. They used to have dinner every now and then. Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan used to regularly have dinner. and would discuss, things and try to find a place where they could agree on something, find some common ground. It's how you pass legislation and all these things. That's why no legislation really gets passed anymore. That's why Trump wanted to ram all of it into one big bill, because he only thinks he can get one vote. And you see they're having a hard time getting that. Some of these people are like, it's not cutting enough. They want all the money to go to border security and military and tax cuts for rich people. And what about everybody else? Fuck them. That's what. That seems to be their policy position. Fuck everybody else. And like I said before, like, I'm not a communist or anything, but what is the purpose of the government? Right? There's two purposes of the government, really, right? It's to keep the country safe from foreign threats and influence, which we haven't done a very good job of that, have we? And to take care of the fucking people. Why do you pay taxes? What do you get out of taxes? Okay, you pay taxes, but you get some food stamps, or you get some Medicare, you get a Pell Grant to go to college. Like you actually get something back for the taxes that you paid. Well, they want to take all that away. If they take all that away, then what'd you pay taxes for? So they could have fancy fucking tanks rolling down. It doesn't make any sense. Why people think it's just like people that go to states. Like I lived in Nevada, there's no state tax. I lived in Florida, there's no state tax. You go to like Texas, I think there's no state tax, right? People go, yeah, we live down here. Like, there ain't no tax. And you're like, dude, don't you realize they tax everything else? Like, yeah, you don't pay taxes on your paycheck, but now you're paying taxes on every single thing you fucking buy. And if you add all that up, you're probably paying more than if it's a scam. They pretend like, oh, well, we're not charging you state tax. Aren't we great? Like, yeah, except for, like, now I'm paying 25 cents on a gallon of gas, or when you add all that up, it probably is more than would have been the 1% state tax that they would take out of your check. That people walk around, yeah, I don't pay state tax. It just shows you, like, the average person is gullible and not very smart. And they fall for all this shit. And now, like I said, they don't even care about the truth. There's not even a pretense to give a fuck about the truth anymore. Like Laura Ingraham, that's why I was getting back to what I was saying. So Laura Ingraham's spewing this fucking, great replacement theory on her show. Like, oh, they're trying to bring in all these immigrants so that the Republicans will never win an election, and blah, 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 blah. And you're like, this is what makes people radical and want to go kill people. Because that's all they do is stoke division, fear, hate. It's the dark side. Fox is literally the dark side. It's hate, fear, anger, all the things, that they're quick and easy, like Yoda said. It's quicker, faster. It's like, yes, you don't really have to think, do you? If you're just going on sheer, pure emotion. You're like, oh yes, immigrants bad. It's like, that's why I have to run the same, immigrant runs over someone in a car. They run that for 6 months. It's like, because it doesn't happen that much. They have to make it seem like it's happening all the time, all over the place. So what they do is run that story over and over and over and over and over. And about the 10th time you see it, your brain stops processing that this is just one event. And you start believing their bullshit. That this is happening everywhere. You can't go outside without an immigrant running you over in the front yard. You know what I'm saying? MS-13 cutting off people's heads. There's heads all over. Like, it's like... These are the same people that told you, marijuana is the gateway to heroin. You smoke that joint, you'll be shooting up next week. This is literally what they said. The guy in Texas, he still thinks that, apparently, because he was yelling at the reporter, you eat this bag of gummies and you see if you're still around. It's like, I don't know if you realize this, dude. And I said, marijuana's been legal now all over the country in a bunch of states, and people aren't dying all over the place. You know why? Because marijuana don't kill you. I seen somebody overdose on marijuana. You know what they did? They slept for 2 days. Yeah, weed-induced ganja cake coma. They ate too much ganja cake, and they passed out for 48 hours. And they woke up, oh man. It's like, it doesn't kill you. Remember those commercials they used to have? All the kids at the drive-thru smoking the joint at the drive-thru. Oh, and then they ran over the bike, kid in the bike. It's like, these things don't happen. They're made up. It's a fantasy. Like most of their belief systems. Because they're Christians. Their whole fucking world is a fantasy. You believe it? An invisible man in the sky loves us all, and he's created this paradise for us, and look at it. And then they leave the church, they go out to Fox News, and they go, this place is a shithole. All these immigrants, didn't God make these immigrants? Well, we're not going to talk about that. Right? God don't make no mistakes, except for them brown people. That was a mistake. We got to get them out of here. Christianity itself is a total antithesis of all the things that Christ said, like Daniele said. Read the sermon on the Mount. That in of itself. And look at the American right, Christians, they call themselves. They don't represent any of that. It's a total antithesis of that. It's a bunch of hate and division, like I said. They are homosexuals, brown people, immigrants. It's like, communists. It's like, well, Jesus had, 2 loaves and a fish. Did he eat them himself? No, he somehow managed to feed 1,000 people with them. It's like, pretty communist, really. I wouldn't tell him it's communist. Socialist. Definitely socialist. Like I said, you're not communist unless you're saying that workers should fucking forcefully take over the means of production, and it's like, then you're a communist. If you're a socialist, if you believe people should get health care and things like that, it's a big fucking difference. But people don't know that. People don't know what anything means. All these buzzwords, that's the thing, is people have all these buzzwords, but they don't even know the meanings of the fucking terms that they're using. Because they've been slammed with propaganda since, communists, they've been going after communist propaganda for at least since the 1940s. Even before that, I think. 20s, 30s. And as soon as they could start printing newspapers, they commies this and Red's that. And if you don't believe that Businessmen should just have free reign to shit over on anybody they want to make capital. You're a communist. You do realize that. I don't believe that people realize this either, because people are ignorant of history, even of their own countries. All the rights that you have, right? All the labor protections that you have, everything that you have, it wasn't given to you. People had to fight for that. And they've been fighting for it for years and years and years. And now, people now are like, well, I would just give it all away. Just give it all away. Yes, healthcare is a huge problem, Ken. Especially with brainworm Bobby. Kneecapping everything he can. I don't know. I still don't know his end game here. What he's trying to get at. I believe that he's just stupid. And brainwashed by the internet, like I said. All these people, you see, just go watch the Tulsi Gabbard video that I just told you about. If you haven't seen it, go watch it and tell me that you feel confident that that these people are not just internet brainwashed idiots. They're Pizzagate people, basically, and they're in charge of the world now. Buckle up. Like I said, this Iran. Israel thing, I said, could be bad. I said, World War III is brewing up. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's a good possibility. They're definitely testing the waters. And let me assure you this, Netanyahu doesn't give a fuck. He's been wanting this for a long time. The only thing that kept him in check was the United States. Well, the United States is off the chain now. Israel's off the leash. They can do whatever they want, because he knows Donald Trump ain't going to stop him. As a matter of fact, he forced Donald Trump into backing him up, which is, like I said, they're going to draw him into World War III because he's a fucking moron. And that there's the truth. And again, I want to thank Daniele Bolelli. I always say this, but you probably know, but he's the host of History on Fire podcast. You should listen to it. It's a very good podcast. He's a history professor, and it's very well researched. It's a real history. So, and if you don't want to read books, but you want to learn about history, that's the place to go. And we thank him for giving us his time whenever he can. And I will be back on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. As usual, I am Bruce Leonard. This is Bruce Leonard Leans Left, while it's still legal. I'm going to go catch the end of the fucking parade. I will not be doing that. Like I said, have a good weekend, and thank you all for watching, and I'll see you back Tuesday, 6 o'clock. Thank you.